Well, some very distressing scenes in Sharon O'Neill's package, but lots being done on the grounds here in Northern Ireland to help. And with me now is Jonathan Edgar from the charity Goal and Chiara Caridi, who already works with asylum seekers here. We're hearing about lots going on the ground now in Northern Ireland, but in what way is it too little, too late, Jonathan?
Well, if you think about the funding that was pledged to the crisis in Syria, 32% has been realised, so obviously there's a need for a lot more funding. To deal with this crisis, it needs to be dealt with at source. That's programming inside Syria, protective space, political solutions to provide that. And then for the refugees on the borders with Turkey, Lebanon and Jordan, that basic welfare, primary healthcare, food, water, education services are provided at source, and the Syrian people will stay. They don't want to travel, but they have no choice right now, and that's what's creating this huge influx of Syrian refugees across Europe.
And in what way do you feel that harrowing image of the little boy on the beach in Turkey has been a turning point?
Well, I think what it's done is it's made people realise the consequences of not acting appropriately or investing appropriately in providing the services for the Syrian people, or finding actually a political solution to the crisis in Syria. I was in Bodrum just a few days before that image came to light, and I can tell you the weeks before I arrived in Bodrum, and whilst I was in Bodrum, many people were being fished out of the sea. And so it's been going on for a long time, and Goal has been dealing with 1 million people inside Syria for the last 3 years, and we've been trying to raise this issue on a global scale, and we're finding now that people are beginning to listen. However, I do think it's time for action, and enough time for talking is over.
And Chiara, could just ask you, you already work with asylum seekers that have come and found refuge in Northern Ireland. We home hundreds of refugees already. Can we cope if more come to this province?
Well, I think that first of all, if you compare the numbers in the UK with other countries like Germany, the number is very little. So I think, yes, we can cope with more, and we should cope with more, because that's an international crisis, and each government in Europe should do its part. And as the solidarity shown by ordinary people in these days has proven, I mean, we have items that have been donated, like here, and we have houses that have been offered to refugees coming here. So I think, yes, we are able to cope. And the money that asylum seekers get, like weekly, is very, very little. So it's not a huge amount of money.
Well, really just a question to both of you. What do we need to do in Northern Ireland to try and, help and have a knock-on effect for those who really are fleeing from danger?
Keep this on the agenda, keep this on the political agenda. Understand the issue. These are political refugees who are suffering, who are afraid for their lives. They're not economic migrants. Open your arms to them and welcome them in.
Okay, and just very quickly, what do you think we need to do?
Yeah, I agree as well. And I think we need to, for the dignity and adequate service, and fund the associations who are already working on the ground with them.
Okay.
Like Nicholas, yeah.
Well, thank you very both. We're going to have to finish there, but there is no doubt that it will be very hard for people now to turn a blind eye to what is happening across the world. Back to the studio.